What's up, everyone? George Balecki here inside the PNC Bank Sports Corner. The Patriots went out of character Thursday night, announcing their next moves for their coordinator positions, beginning extension talks with Jerod Mayo and starting offensive coordinator interviews next week. A good sign for Pats fans and the franchise moving forward. NESN Patriots beat reporter Zach Cox joined me to break it all down. All right, Zach, so the Patriots announced last night that they're in extension talks with Jerod Mayo, who's the de facto defensive coordinator. Plan is to keep him with the Patriots long term. What does this mean for Mayo? What does this mean for the Patriots?
Well, it certainly means the Patriots do not want to lose Jerod Mayo. He's really a rising star in the coaching ranks. He's gotten head coaching interviews elsewhere in each of the last 3 years. Now, obviously, was a great player for the Patriots before he was a head coach and really commands a lot of respect from players in that Patriots locker room. Going to be very interesting to see what exactly this looks like, though, what an extension would look like for Jerod Mayo, because I can't imagine that he'd be agreeing to stick around if it was just in the same linebackers coach / co-unnamed defensive coordinator role that he's been in the last couple of seasons. But there's some hoops to jump through, I guess you could say, because he's the other co-defensive coordinator on the Patriots is Steve Belichick, and Steve Belichick calls the defensive plays, not Jerod Mayo. So are you promoting Jerod Mayo over Steve Belichick? Is he now going to be the official defensive coordinator? Is it going to be something where he's linebackers coach / assistant head coach? Would that be enough to make him stay? That's something the Patriots have done in the past with Dante Scarnecchia. Or is this a Robert Kraft kind of telling Jerod Mayo, hey, it's not a guarantee, but if you stick around, there's a good chance you're going to be able to succeed Bill Belichick when he eventually retires. So we'll have to see how all of this shakes out from a title standpoint. And it does seem like Jerod Mayo still can potentially interview for head coaching jobs elsewhere. But yeah, this is a real strong show of support for Mayo from the Patriots organization. They clearly do not want to let him get out that door.
I like that you bring up he could still interview for head coaching jobs elsewhere. The Panthers want to bring him in to interview for their position. Reports say the interest is mutual from both sides, from Mayo and from Carolina. Do you still see him potentially leaving New England this offseason?
I think if he gets a head coaching offer from another team, I could see him leaving, and I could see the Patriots kind of allowing him to leave in that scenario, or they can't really force him to stay regardless. But I think if he gets a head coaching job elsewhere, that's a situation where he could leave. It does seem like he's no longer interested in defensive coordinator jobs elsewhere. There were reports that just came out a couple of minutes ago that he turned down the Cleveland Browns defensive coordinator, an opportunity to interview for that job. So it does seem like it's now head coach or bust for Jerod Mayo. We've only heard about the Carolina Panthers so far wanting to interview him. We'll see if any of these other head coach needy teams end up putting in a request for him as well. But yeah, a top job elsewhere, I still think would be enough to sway him away. But anything less than that, and it seems like he would stay in New England.
Certainly feels like a move where if Jerod Mayo left just to get the title, Bill Belichick would have had a lot of explaining to do to Robert Kraft. All right, now, the other part of that release by the Patriots, they're going to be interviewing offensive coordinator candidates next week. This is significant, A, because Belichick's announcing his next move and the Patriots are announcing their next moves. B, last March he said titles didn't matter. Now all of a sudden they do. And in case of an offensive coordinator, who are the top guys, or who should be the top guys on the Patriots list to bring in and lead this offense?
I think Bill O'Brien is still the most obvious and the best option for the Patriots. I think he was the best option last offseason to replace Josh McDaniels. There were some hang-ups there with his commitment to Nick Saban and not wanting to kind of ruffle feathers there in that relationship. But I still think he makes the most sense. He has experience in New England. He's led successful, explosive, high-flying Patriots offenses in the past. Obviously, those offenses had Tom Brady, which they won't have this time around, but just his whole body of work and his prior relationship with Belichick and with the Patriots, I just think that he is kind of head and shoulders above all of these other candidates right now. Some of the other ones out there are intriguing. Someone like Cliff Kingsbury, potentially, who spent the first year of his playing career in New England, runs a radically different offense from what the Patriots have typically run. So it would be a bit of a departure in philosophy for Bill Belichick to bring somebody like that in. But this could be a situation where he feels like they need a little bit of a fresh perspective and a little bit of a shakeup there. So there are plenty of quality candidates for this role. But it is important to keep in mind that if the Patriots actually hire an official named offensive coordinator, which they did say in that statement that they plan to do, they need to go through the actual full NFL process here. They have to satisfy the Rooney Rule, which means they have to interview at least one minority candidate for that role before they make any hires. So this doesn't seem like it's something where we're going to get a resolution within the next couple of days. It's probably going to take a little bit for this to all shake itself out, but it was definitely significant, the fact that the Patriots were coming out and stating their intentions, saying we were not happy with what the product was on the field under our previous setup, previous situation, and they're going to be going a little bit more of a conventional route this year, which I'm sure a lot of fans will welcome for sure.
Yeah, Bill O'Brien, certainly. There's a past relationship with Mac Jones there. Mac helped bring Bill O'Brien, get him up to speed when he joined Alabama. Cliff Kingsbury would be the third different offensive coordinator and play caller, third different system for Mac in his pro career, but anything is better than what we've seen this last season. But all right, Zach, I want to go to the root of this. When I saw my email this come across, I was in shock. I had to double, triple, quadruple check to make sure it wasn't a fake email. What do you read into the Patriots announcing that they're in talks for an extension with Jerod Mayo, will bring in offensive coordinators for interviews next week, and in general, just saying what their next moves are going to be?
Yeah, it's shocking and it's really unprecedented. I can't personally recall an instance of the Patriots ever doing this in the past. I mean, a lot of times they'll make coaching hires and not even announce them after the fact. I mean, we didn't know who was calling plays for this team until basically the end of the preseason last year, and they never even announced that officially. So this is Bill Belichick's typical MO has always been to not reveal really any information until it's absolutely necessary. And as you mentioned, the fact that this isn't even them coming out and saying, oh, we hired XYZ as our offensive coordinator and we officially finalized this deal with Jerod Mayo. Both of those aren't even done yet. This is a kind of preemptive announcement from the Patriots, which is really completely against everything that Bill Belichick has typically done in the past, which says to me that there was certainly some Robert Kraft influence on this whole announcement situation. I don't think that this is something that Bill Belichick would have gone out and done on his own volition. That doesn't necessarily mean it's something that Kraft said, Bill, you need to do this, and this is a requirement. This could have been kind of a mutual agreement decision there. But yeah, I can't imagine this is something that Bill Belichick just kind of volunteered and said, hey, let's go out and announce what we're going to potentially do in the future. It's just not what the Patriots do. But from a kind of appeasing the fan base standpoint, I think it's certainly a positive in that direction, because there are a lot of questions from Patriots fans about what are they doing with this offense this season? Is Jerod Mayo going to leave? This kind of soothes some of those concerns for sure. So I think it's, from that perspective, it was probably a good move, but it was shocking just because it was so different from everything we've seen from this team for the last 20 plus years.
Yeah, I certainly feel like it means Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft are communicating. Bill is listening. The optics of the Mayo announcement to me says, hey, we gave him the title if they do. We tried our best. If he leaves for a head coaching gig, so be it. As for the OC thing, it just shows that the Patriots, especially Robert Kraft, know whatever was the experiment last season didn't work. Got to start taking things seriously. Zach, as always, thanks for coming in, keeping us up to date. Thank you for giving us all the insight as well, man.
Always. Thank you, George.
PNC Bank, helping to make banking easier.